Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Techno Talks here. So in front of us today we do have the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 6. Once again, I am super excited to check out a foldable device, and so I actually went ahead and picked this up this year. So I am still waiting on the Z Fold 6 as well, but once that comes, I'll go ahead and review that as well. For now, we have the Z Flip 6 in front of us. I did go ahead and get the crafted black version, and right away, getting the price out of the way, this does go for $1,100 this year, so there is a $100 price difference. Unfortunately, that is kind of annoying. They didn't really change too much about the device, and so making that price hike, I'm not sure if it's worth it. So the box looks very simple. Once again, since this is a special color, this does have a little different box. The color of the Z Flip 6, it has multiple colors on it, and then it just says Galaxy Z Flip 6. On the back, we just get some information. So opening this up, alright, so here is a look at our crafted black Z Flip 6. So this is a pretty interesting color. It does have like this carbon fiber look to it, or aramid fiber look to it. And honestly, I think this is the first time they've done something like this. They've had special colors in the past. However, this is the first time they're doing something a little different. They have a little different design to it. But I am a fan of it. It does look really nice and pretty cool. So I actually went ahead and picked up the Z Fold 6 in this color as well because I thought it looked really good. Instead of black, this is what they have this year. So let's go ahead and open this up. All right, taking off these stickers. Here is our outer display. Obviously, it's the same size as last year. It didn't change much about that. And then if we do go ahead and peel the front display, here's a look at our foldable display. So putting this to the side real quick, let's actually go ahead and take a look at what we get inside of this box. Probably just a cable and a SIM injection tool. I can see the SIM injection tool right there. And then here is a look at the USB-C to C charging cable. So once again, Samsung doesn't surprise me. They don't add anything in the box. You know, I'm kind of okay with it on the Flip, but unfortunately they do the same thing with the Fold, which is almost a $2,000 phone. So that does get kind of annoying. Let's go ahead and put this to the side real quick and take a closer look at our Z Flip 6. So this, once again, is looking super clean and nice. I am loving this crafted black. And honestly, I'm not sure, but just leave a comment down below if you are a fan of this color. So let's go ahead and fold this up. That is one of the main reasons to get this phone, and this is going to be the first fold. And boom, very nice and sturdy fold with the Z Flip 6. That is something Samsung nails. The folding mechanism is super nice and rigid on these devices. And they also have many angles, so you don't have to choose, or you do have the option to keep it open in many different angles. So while this is powering on, I do want to talk about some of the specs. This does have 12 gigabytes of RAM, and then we also do get the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, and I also do have the 256 gigabytes of storage if this does power on, and voila. So Samsung, we do have a very thin phone, just like the previous generation. Samsung does like to keep it a little thinner. Even with their Fold, the outer display is pretty thin compared to other devices, and so I do want to compare it to some other devices. Here I do have the CMF Phone 1. As you can see, they are basically the same height. However, the Flip is just a tad bit thinner compared to the CMF Phone 1. Same goes for the Google Pixel 8 Pro right here. The Z Flip 6 is just a tad bit taller, but once again, thinner. And then if I do compare it to a smaller phone like the 15 Pro, again, it is obviously taller. However, this time they are actually very close on their width, and that is pretty normal. The smaller the phone, the, I guess, thinner it gets. However, with this phone, since it does have a tall display, it kind of does get a little weird, especially when watching stuff on this device. Here is our setup display. Welcome. I'll go ahead and start this, go through the setup real quick, and once I am done with that setup, I'll go ahead and check this device out. Our device is finally set up. It was pretty simple, just like every other device. Just log into your Wi-Fi, log into your Gmail account, and that is about it. So I did start clean with this. I didn't want to go through and download all of our apps right now, but for now, here is a look at our Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 6. All right, I do want to close this off and actually take a look at the outside. So we do have two cameras right here. They do have like this ring color match to it. Unfortunately, since this is the black one, you can't really tell a difference too much. However, with the other colors, you can actually see a little difference. We do have our flashlight. We do obviously have our 3.4-inch outer display right here. On the right side, we do have our power button and volume rocker. Obviously, you can use this outer display. It is asking me to actually set it up right now, but we'll go ahead and do that later. So that is going to be the outer display right there. We do have our hinge, which it says Samsung, and this is a little different compared to last year's black color. This isn't completely black. It's a little darked out, a little darker gray compared to the black from last year. Obviously, we do have the crafted black right here. And then on the bottom portion, we do have our USB-C charging port, our speaker layout, and then we also do have a speaker on the inside right here for the top firing speaker. So the mechanism, once again, is very nice and sturdy. We do have our SIM tray on the left side, and other than that, really not much else on the outside. It's a pretty light phone, fits in your hand really nice, will probably fit in your pocket really nice, especially when it's folded up. But now let's go ahead and open it up. So one thing I always hated about the flips is going to be the button placement on the side once it is opened up. The volume marker is super high up, and with a 6.7-inch display, it is kind of annoying to reach. And unfortunately, they can't really change this up much because of how the phone is designed, how there's a hinge in the middle of it, and so you can't really place the buttons down below. But again, that is one of the things I do hate about this phone. We do have our special screen protector on here, so I'm not sure if the camera picks it up, but you can see where the camera is. It's actually going under it and on the sides. Once again, our speaker grill right here. But other than that, not much else to this phone has changed. So obviously the design looks very similar to last year and also the year before it. They haven't changed much, but again, specs wise, they did go ahead and upgrade some of the things. So let's go ahead and hop into our settings. All right, taking a closer look at our settings, I do want to start off with our display settings. So once again, we do have a 6.7-inch display. It's a 1080p display. It's an AMOLED display, and it does have adaptive refresh rate of 120 Hertz. The outer display is going to be 3.4 inches. It does have a 720p display, and it is only 60 Hertz. So here is our display settings. Obviously, we have our brightness settings. We have our adaptive brightness settings. And if we do actually go ahead and click onto that, we can see that it is only on the main screen and not on the outer display. Maybe if we do close it up and go to the settings, it'll be for the outer display as well. We do have our motion smoothness, obviously, for the 120 Hertz. You can choose 60 Hertz, but I wouldn't recommend it. We do have our eye comfort shield, adaptive color tone, and also our screen mode. So natural or vivid. Usually I would prefer vivid. I know a lot of people prefer vivid. That is the better one. Screen timeout, 30 seconds. Let's go ahead and change that real quick to 10 minutes. And then we also do get a nice little setting which says keep screen on while you're looking at it. It'll use the front camera. If you do want to turn that on, you can do it, but obviously I just don't want to. 10 minutes is enough for me. If we do scroll down, we do have some more settings. Like for example, our navigation bar, you can go ahead and change that. You can keep this one or switch the other one. Accidental touch protection, touch sensitivity. If you do use the screen with a screen protector, but that doesn't really apply to this, so we're not going to touch that. And then our charging information for our always on display. So going back, now we can move on to our battery. So the battery size is going to be the same. We do have a 4,000 milliamp hour battery, and then the charging isn't too fast. It's only 25 watts of wired charging and then 15 watts of wireless charging. I wish Samsung brought that up to 45 watts, which would have been great. We do have some battery protection settings, and then we do get some battery usage settings right here, which we haven't used it at all. Wireless power sharing, obviously this phone does have wireless power sharing, and then we can show our battery percentage. And then if we do go into battery information, you can see that we do have a 4,000 milliamp hour battery. If we do scroll down just a tad bit more, we can see our cover screen. You can actually change some cover screen displays. Obviously the cover screen timeout, you can change that right there. And then we might have some brightness settings here. I'm not exactly sure, but you can also manage your cover screen from here. You don't have to do it from the cover screen. You can just open it up and change it from here, but I'm not going to touch that for now. So let's go ahead and pop into our camera real quick. For our cameras, we do have a 50 megapixel wide angle camera, and then we also do get a 12 megapixel ultra wide angle camera. And then for our front facing or our selfie camera, we do get a 10 megapixel camera. So let's go ahead and hop into our camera app real quick and actually take a look at those settings. So obviously here we can change it to 50 megapixels if you do want to use 50 megapixels. Usually I do prefer using 12 megapixels unless there's some certain photographs that I want to take and I do want to bring up the megapixel count, but this is going to be the fastest and the easiest method to just point and shoot. If we do pop into our video settings, we do get 4K 60 frames per second of recording with the rear facing camera, and then if we do switch to around, we do get 4K 60 frames per second, which is good to know. So they did improve the cameras just a tad bit. It obviously takes a little better photos, takes better videos. I will have to actually test those out, but once again, it's improved just a tad bit, and I'm still not sure if that $100 price hike was worth it. So let's go ahead and set up our fingerprint. All right, to set up our fingerprint, we just pop into our screen lock settings, and here we do get a nice little graph of how to do it. The fingerprint sensor is on the right side. It's actually with the power button. I really do actually love this. They had this on the S10e, which was one of my favorite devices back then, and now they do still have it on the flips and folds. So if we do go ahead and start, it's also very fast and secure as well, so no issues regarding that. All we have to do is just change our position a little, move our finger around, get a nice little scan of our finger. And then if you do, please, you can actually do this twice to make it faster. That's just how it works. It might read the other fingerprint faster than the other, but usually I do go with one on the side fingerprints. All right, almost there. 88%, 92%. Just going to get one more scan, and boom. So that is going to be our fingerprint. Now let's go ahead and pop into our display. As you can see, very fast. Picks it up right away, which is super nice. So if I do go ahead and power the display off and place my finger, 3, 2, 1, boom. Super fast and easy to use. One final thing is going to be the face unlock. So this does come with 2D face unlock. It just uses the camera, no special sensor for anything. It's a little less secure, but I've been using it on my Samsung devices for a couple years now, and so far I've had no issues with it. Just like a fingerprint sensor, we just pop into our face recognition setting and then we click continue, and now we can take a look at the camera. Take off my glasses, and boom, my face is now registered. So let's actually go ahead and test that out. Popping into our lock screen, powering it on, and facing it towards me, boom. So very fast, super fast, and it's pretty secure. It's not the most secure, but once again, I've had no issues with it for a couple of years. So you can actually add an alternative face as well. I just lost that setting, but you can add an alternative face as well. Maybe when you grow out your beard, or maybe you wear a hat a lot of the times, you can actually add that as well. Or sometimes you don't wear your glasses, you can use that as well. But again, they do give you the option to add 2 faces, so you can use it with maybe multiple people or just another look of yourself. So that is basically going to be the Z Flip 6. Once again, they didn't really improve much, but it's still a very nice device. They did actually improve the material used on the display, so they do have a thicker glass, I believe. I forgot what it was called, but that is one of the major improvements, I guess. Other than that, really not much has improved. Maybe some battery life. The battery size didn't change, however, with the new chipset, maybe it's a little more efficient, so it'll last a little longer. But once again, these are all things that will have to be tested. So that will basically wrap it up for this video. As always, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and see y'all in the next one.